All right. Here we are live again. Hope everybody is doing awesome. Here we are. What's going on? I like to play a little game, which is whenever I get in the car, I like to pretend that there's like a killer or a monster after me. You know what I mean? Like, it's good practice just for real life because, you know, the things I do are things you should be doing anyway. You know, a lot of people rely on their doors locking automatically, right? You get in your car, you start the car, and you drive, and about like 30 seconds later, your doors just automatically lock. It's bad, man. People get carjacked all the time because they don't lock their locks immediately. So, like when I'm going, especially if I'm leaving the gym, it's downtown LA, it's late at night, there's a bunch of scumbags around, and I'm going toward my car. I'm like, all right, I got the car keys out. I've got the pepper spray in hand. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm moving briskly with confidence. Unlock the back door as I throw my bag in, still aware of my surroundings, so no one can use this transitional time to sneak up on me. Then look around as I get in the front seat, close the door, lock it as the key is going into the ignition. I like to pretend that I'm really nervous and I'm like, oh, I got to get the key in, oh, like, you know, in the movies. I'm trying to like pretend like, what would it really be like? Oh, you got to go fast, but you got to go smooth. You got to calm down, put the key in, and then I'm already in drive and the seatbelt's going on as I'm moving. And it's fun. It's fun to pretend there's a monster after you, is all I'm saying. And it's good practice. It's fun, and it's actual practice for what you should be doing in real life. Now, you might be thinking, wow, what kind of paranoid, heightened state of readiness do you exist in? Well, yes, there's that small price I pay of being absolutely hyper vigilant, neurotic, insane. But I'm ready. I'm ready for you. What else is going on? As always, anybody in the chat, pipe up, questions, comments, concerns, suggestions. Anything you say could lead me down a road of more fun. Sorry, I was just looking at this. SNL producer shows off her birthmark to prove a point. None of us are ever defined by one thing. What is this? Her name's Lindsay Shookus. Hey, dub style. I wondered where you were. Apparently, I didn't even know who the producer of SNL was, and if I was the producer of SNL, I would prefer it that way. Yeah, you produced that shit? Ugh. Shookus posted an inspiring message showing off her legs. That's the thing when you live in Los Angeles, people are so desperate for work, stage time, whatever, that, I guarantee if SNL was like, hey man, you want to come on and do a spot? I'd be like, fuck yeah. And I'd be bragging to everybody, I'm going to be on SNL. Who's going to be on SNL? This guy, yeah. And meanwhile, the show sucks. I recently was asked to go on a show on like a Christian broadcasting network with a former governor. And if you guys want to know who it is, I'll tell you. But I feel like I'm speaking to nobody, so I need a little back and forth here. You have a job too as a fucking audience. So, a fucking audience. That'd be an awesome audience. You step on stage, you introduce you, and the whole audience is just banging. It's a giant orgy. You're like, how am I supposed to perform under these conditions? And some guy with a limp dick is like, I know what you mean. You just jump in, join the fray. Forget you have a dove secret of the way in your jacket, and you take it off, join the orgy, and accidentally roll over your suit jacket, crushing said dove. I don't work with doves, and that's the reason, my friends. Never wanted to risk an orgy breaking out and my dove dying. I'm basically Pete the PETA magician. There was a story years ago about a female magician at the Magic Castle who was, I only heard the story secondhand, but apparently she was awful, only got hired because she was close friends with Irene Larson, and Irene's a big animal lover, and this woman gets booked and then proceeded to kill several doves during her show, and Irene, being an animal lover, had to agree when they cut her week short. I don't even know who it was, and it was years ago, and something I heard once. But there's all kinds of stories about magicians killing doves. Was it the Amazing Jonathan? Forget who it was. He went to go chase his dove on stage and accidentally stepped on it and killed it in front of everybody. Who is that? I just heard that story. You hear so many of these types of stories, you forget. But the thing is, they wanted me to go on this show and do some magic and have a little 2-minute interview with this former governor, and I was like, there was no money. And they're like, oh, well, there's going to be lots of exposure. Yeah, I'll tell you what, you want exposure? Here's my cock. I know people who have gone on The Tonight Show and Ellen DeGeneres and didn't book a single gig from it. So don't tell me that I'm going to get all this exposure from your Christian broadcasting network. So it was actually, I'll narrow it down for you. You'll probably figure out who it is. Just more hints. It's actually called the Trinity Broadcasting Network. And so that was part of it too. I don't care about, if you're a Christian, that's good for you. But this particular governor, I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go on this show for no money. I'm not going to book any gigs from it because 2 people watch this thing. And then what am I going to take that? And I was like, I could get some good video footage from it. Am I going to go on Facebook and Twitter and be like, hey, everybody, look at this TV show I was on? I'd rather just go on a podcast with the same size audience. I'd get more out of it and feel better about myself. But, okay, so this Lindsay Shookus, hell of a name. Apparently, she has a birthmark from her knee to her toes. She posted a picture. I was born with a port wine stained vascular birthmark from my knee to my toes. It's never changed, doesn't ever hurt. I've learned that I'm very lucky for the placement and lack of any health complications like many people with vascular birthmarks can face. Lawton Chiles? No, not Lawton Chiles. Thank you for guessing, though. I'll tell you who it is. I just was trying to have some fun here. Trinity Broadcasting Network, former governor. And look, I've done things for TV before, and they paid me. They were like, "Look, we'll pay your airfare, your hotel, and then I'll book you on some stuff. But this is going to be great exposure." I'm like, "How about you book me on some stuff?" I had a. Anyway, some people think it's weird or ugly. I definitely still notice people staring at it. I once had someone tell me it was like I had a Jackson Pollock painting on my leg, so I was like, that makes my leg more valuable than most. So who gives a... I mean, hold on, let me show you. Here's a picture of her. And I've seen this before with people. I had a high school teacher that had this on her arm, and I've seen it on people's face, and you know what? Never given a flying fuck. Never given it 2 seconds. I mean, she's pretty hot chick. Can you imagine, like, what is AOTLO? A lot of those Christian broadcast channels are out of Orlando. This one, the gig was this guy who called me to book me for it is out of Orlando, but the show is filmed in Nashville. That was the other thing. The guy called me, and he was just kind of like, he's just kind of a tool off the bat. And he's telling me how he's a Mason, and he's got all of this power in town, and the judges are Masons, and they're allowed to have shows when other people aren't because they're Masons. And if somebody were to try to shut them down, any judge that, enforced it would be in big trouble with the Masons. And I've got this theater in Orlando, and millions of dollars have been put into it, and it's going to be the crown jewel of the magic world. I'm like, okay, when do you want to book me for it? Well, how about a week in December? Well, that's my busiest month. What does it pay? It pays dog shit. Oh, so you want me to... I make basically more than double in almost every day of December. It's so busy. And you want me to come to Orlando and work a week for less than I make in one day. And then you want me to fly to Nashville to do a TV show with the governor who's a douchebag, so that when I show it to people, they're like, oh my God, Zach went on the Trinity Broadcasting Network with this douchebag governor. I hope he got paid a lot. No, I got paid nothing. What'd you get in return? Oh, a week at a theater where I got paid less than I would get for a gig in Santa Monica for an hour. And so I called the guy and I was like, listen, man, I thought about your proposition. I don't want to do a TV show for free. I understand it's part of your overall marketing strategy, but what you're offering me for a week in December is what I get for an hour staying local. So I don't think it's going to work for me. I mean, maybe a slow time of year. What if I did your theater in January? Things are slow. I'll tell you what, Zach, I'll call you back in 2 hours. Never heard from him again, which is what I assumed would happen. But here's the thing, is I've met this guy before. Not him specifically, but his archetype. The type that comes in promising the world, has all of these amazing things happening, and it's all going to happen sometime in the future. As opposed to just getting a phone call and going, hey, I've got a party tomorrow. I'd like you to come and do a show, and paying me, which is what I do. Anyway, this caught my eye, this thing about her with her port wine stain, vascular birthmark. It's like, really, we need to bring in... How about this? Everybody has something about them they're self-conscious of. And, other than, I guess, perfect 10s, but your typical LA perfect 10, they might not be, they're actually usually very self-conscious because they never feel like they're good enough, never thin enough, any little flaw, and they freak out. It's like, oh, I've got a scar in the bottom of my little toe, and I'm horrified by it. But, normal people, everybody's got a thing, right? Do we really need a public service campaign about it? What is this? Hey, everybody, I got this weird birthmark. You've seen a lot of people with it. Probably didn't think much of it. Well, here's a big campaign where I talk about it and show you how brave I am. Meanwhile, in North Korea, people are eating rats if they're lucky. But worry about me, a smoking hot chick with the birthmark on my leg. It's just hilarious to me, you making what you're self-conscious about your mission in life to try to make it okay for everybody. What else do we have? I wasn't trying to go through the news here, but again, something caught my eyes. It's about a kidnapping in 1975. Let's see. Mel Patrick Lynch was a fireman. He was sitting on a couch next to the unshaven, foul-smelling, bound and blindfolded 21-year-old scion of one of America's richest families, Samuel Bronfman II, who had been missing for 9 days. They arrested Lynch and his accomplice, Dominic Byrne. They confessed to the abduction, describing the planning and execution of the crime. They revealed where they hid the $2.3 million ransom they got. Seemed like it was the end. But Lynch and Byrne would be convicted of an extortion charge. Seemed like they'd been caught red-handed. They were found not guilty of kidnapping. Their defense lawyers managed to convince the jurors that there was, in fact, no kidnapping. The miracle was pulled off in large part by Byrne's attorney, Peter de Blasio, who called the case the greatest trial victory of my career. The Bronfman kidnapping, one of the stranger tales of New York's criminal history. Over the following decades, hardly anyone had reason to recall the intricacies of mysteries except de Blasio. Even as he reveled in his triumph, he worried at the end of his life about what he had done to secure it. So, he had a self-published memoir. He reveals that he long told his two daughters what the secret of the Bronfman trial. His winning argument was premised on a lie, and he knew it. It was effectively a deathbed confession. Just 5 months later, he died of heart failure at 91. So basically, I don't know anything about this at all. This just caught my attention, and I'm looking at it. The article's very long, but bottom line, it seems like somehow he used some kind of lie to get this. He says 45 years later, he had no doubt the story that convinced the jurors was false. Okay, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. So what's the big story here? That a piece of shit attorney, which is a redundant statement, felt guilty 5 months before he died and let people know that he got some scumbags who kidnapped this kid off by lying, or built a defense that was foundationally a lie. How is that news? We know that all lawyers are soulless liars and scumbags. So, all right, just grab my attention. Just grabbing my attention. I know somebody that had to get dub style. You done guessing the governor? I thought for sure you were going to keep going. Somebody very close to me had a problem and he needed to get an attorney. And I said, fucking, anytime there's an attorney involved, you know it's going to be fucked. Just watch out. I'm sure he'll be fucking you in some way. And he says, no, he's not going to fuck me. I talked to this guy. He's a really good guy. And I feel good about this. And he's going to get my back. And I said, I don't believe you. There's no good attorneys. Oh, come on, Zach. Okay. Well, I hope you find the exception that proves the rule. I don't even know if a week went by before he tells me, oh, yeah. So that attorney I hired charged me a bunch of money. I haven't heard from him since. I call and he'll never speak to me. I get like his assistant who says he'll get back and he never does. And I've got a time sensitive thing. I need an answer today. And I'm calling him and he finally gets back to me. And he talks to me for 30 seconds and didn't take care of shit. And then I got another bill from him. And I'm asking him, what am I paying for? You haven't done anything. And he's like, well, what do you want me to do? I'm like, and then basically he just proceeds to tell me this nightmare about how this attorney's just taking his money and doing nothing and won't return his calls, and almost is taking like an attitude of like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you probably need an attorney. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? So I've yet to meet the person who said, oh man, I've got this attorney. Even women I know who have taken their ex-husbands to the cleaners, usually the ones I've talked to have ended up having regrets about their attorneys. They're like, yeah, my husband was a real piece of shit. He cheated on me. I got this attorney, got divorced. And I'm like, so I guess you took him for everything he had. Well, actually, both the attorneys took him and I for everything we had. They prolonged it longer than it needed to go so that they could keep billing us. We could have had a good compromise just between the two of us from the start, but they made us more and more angry with one another. They kept on telling us we could do better, and they kept it going way longer than it needed to. And the emotional stress, the constant meetings and paperwork and back and forth and negotiation, and I don't know. I don't think it was worth it. Fucking, you know what I mean? I've yet to meet the person. It's like, oh man, my attorney. Don't have his complaint. I mean, he charged me a reasonable amount of money. He really, tell me if you've ever heard this. I hired an attorney because I had X problem. And, he really worked for me. I felt like he cared about me, cared about the outcome. He explained everything to me, sometimes twice because I didn't understand it the first time. Walked my hand through the process and helped me make an informed decision about what I wanted to do. He made a really bad situation as easy as it could be. And when all was said and done, I got a bill that I thought was more than fair. Never. That's never happened. If it has, please tell me. It's got to be, if there's an attorney out there, it's probably the same attorney that people have mistaken for Bigfoot. It's like people just assume Bigfoot is like this monster. It's actually just a 12 feet tall attorney who's grown to those heights because he's powered on the goodwill he's garnered through his powers of good lawyership, and he's the only one. I made a eggplant manicotti couple of days ago, and I really didn't know like anything about. I don't think manicotti is something I've ever ordered. It was just in my cookbook there, and I was like, it's Italian, it's cheesy, it's low calories because I'm doing the I told you I'm using Rocco DiSpirito's book Now Eat This. It's all healthy versions of comfort food, so it's like healthy deep dish pizza, healthy hamburger, healthy, mac and cheese. And so, I mean, stuff that'll be like 1,200 calories, he's got it down to like 340 calories. Pretty much everything's fewer than 350 calories. And then I knocked the sodium levels down by using this. Morton has a salt a low sodium salt. And sometimes I'll just leave all the salt out. I'll just leave the salt out altogether of recipes and just put in onion powder, garlic powder. I just leave it out. I don't give a fuck about the salt. I don't care for eggplant, but I love manicotti. Okay, I don't know shit about manicotti, but you stopped guessing governors. Do you want to? I didn't think you were still there. He's a Republican. He's a piece of garbage. He's got a TV show on the Trinity Broadcasting Network. And, okay, but manicotti, I know nothing about it. Is there normally pasta in manicotti? I thought manicotti would be like stuffed shells of pasta, that kind of thing. Well, let me tell you, this healthy eggplant manicotti, which I saw somebody online made something very similar. I don't know how it's really food. Kind of like a BLT. How is a sandwich? Oh, you nailed it, Dub Style. You got it, Governor Huckabee. That's right. BLT, like it's bread, lettuce, and tomato. How is that a thing, you know? I'm not going to lie. It's fun. I like a good BLT, but how is that really like a sandwich? It's like a sandwich with no sandwich. And so let me explain this recipe. The recipe called for laying down a layer of marinara in the bottom of a baking dish, and then making this blend of like ricotta cheese and a bunch of maybe some chopped parsley or basil. I forget. Here, let me see what else is in it. Let me take a look here. I was curious anyway. Oh, here it is. So it had ricotta cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano, basil, and salt and pepper, right? And you mix all that together. And then what you do is you take the eggplant and you cut it like you square it off. And then you cut thin pieces of eggplant, right? So you got about a 1/16 of an inch, I think is what he says. So they're these thin pieces of eggplant. And you kind of bake those. You salt and pepper those. And you, what else did I do with the eggplant? Let's see. We put a little, salt and pepper, a little olive oil spray. And then you roast the eggplant in the oven, tender it up. So now you got this roasted eggplant, and you then wrap the Parmigiano Reggiano and ricotta cheese and shit into the eggplant. So you all you have is an eggplant rolled up and stuffed with cheese. And you have a bunch of those, and you lay them out into the baking dish, on top of the marinara. Then you add another layer of marinara and I think some Parmesan and cheddar cheese I think he has on top. I already threw the book over there. And then you bake the whole thing. And I got to tell you, I was like, I felt like a BLT. I'm like, this is all there is? There's no pasta in this recipe? Like, I'm going to eat basically roasted slices of eggplant wrapped around cheese and baked in marinara. But you know what? It was fucking delicious. It was great. I learned something. You can replace freshly chopped herbs like basil, parsley. You can replace it with, if you have like in a spice thing, you have ground basil. But it's much more concentrated when it's ground dried basil like that. So you're going to want to use a lot less. That was the mistake I made. I used too much, kind of overpowered it. But I could see making it again. It was just like, but I don't know. What's normally in a manicotti? Here, let me take a look. Like, does manicotti normally have pasta in it? What the fuck? I don't, I've just been cooking a lot lately. Let's see. What's the difference between manicotti and lasagna? Manicotti is a large tubular pasta shell that's stuffed with fillings, while lasagna. Oh, okay. So I was right. So this is a pastaless manicotti. Manicotti is rolled and stuffed, and normally is made without meat in the sauce. So this manicotti recipe I had just didn't have any lasagna and any pasta. It was just, I guess he replaced pasta with eggplant. Eggplant manicotti. Let's see. Best bake eggplant manicotti. So I guess this is just a thing. I've been really into cooking lately, man. Let's see. Let's see if there's any ingredients. Eggplant, salt. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. I guess that's a different kind of manicotti. It's an eggplant manicotti. No pasta in it. I would make it again. It was good. Hello, Lizzie. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. How are you doing? We'll leave that there, I guess. I just it's funny, a few years back when I got like shredded doing Body for Life, my meals, I cooked, but they were the most bland, basic meals. I would get a piece of chicken, bake it, steam some veggies, and have some yogurt. That was the meal. A piece of chicken that had some pepper on it that was baked. And I'm realizing it's so much easier to consistently eat healthy and low-calorie shit if you go to the trouble of making some you actually, find a recipe and make something that tastes really good and keep the calories and the sodium down, the sugars down, all that. By the way, I weighed myself last night, 166 pounds. I'm glad you're out of work. Good for you, Lizzie. So the most I've ever weighed in my life was at the height of the pandemic. I got to 185. Normally, my walking around weight since I was high school was 165. I got down to 181 about 6 weeks ago or so, but I hadn't been back to consistently going to jiu-jitsu or eating right. I had all that shit happen with the allergic reaction, et cetera, et cetera. That allergy probably helped me knock down a few pounds because I didn't eat for 2 days straight, and I was vomiting everything that came up. So that probably put me on the fast track. And so a couple weeks ago, I was down to like 176. Last week, I was down to 170. And weighed myself last night, 166. Now, here's the thing. That's 166 pounds after jiu-jitsu, where I usually lose about 5 pounds because you just sweat so much, you drop that 5 pounds of water weight. So if I were to get on a scale right now, I would expect to probably be 171 on a scale. But but I still lost 4 pounds, no matter how you cut it. Because I weighed myself after jiu-jitsu last week was 170, and this week 166. So last week I was probably really 176, and now I'm probably really like 171, 170, something like that. Probably, I'm guessing. I wish I had a scale here. I could just should see if my neighbor will let me use her scale real quick. I'm curious what I weigh right now. But I got to be pretty close back to my normal weight, and that feels awesome. I'm returning to my weekly gig at Busby's West in Santa Monica tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to have to wear a mask while I do magic. I didn't ask. I guess I'll find out when I get there. I work just an hour and a half, 6 to 7:30, doing close-up magic for people. And I will be putting my suit on as a result of that It's the first time I've put my suit on for quite a while. The last time I wore it, I was sincerely scared I was going to tear it or something because I was like, I'm too fat for this suit. So I'm hoping when I put it on tomorrow, it fits the way it used to fit, which was actually just a hair loose. I mean, I wear a belt with it for a reason, but there's no give in the waistband of that suit. But I think it's going to be great. So that's pretty cool. If I dropped 4 pounds in 1 week, that's a combination of using MyFitnessPal, cooking all these meals that are low calorie, and going to jiu-jitsu every night. And the nights I'm not going to jiu-jitsu, I'm doing something else, walking, bike ride, something. My metal detector is getting repaired, and they're shipping it back to me tomorrow, so that's exciting. I'll be able to throw that into my active lifestyle, going to the beach. Metal detecting is always a good workout. And so if I can lose another 4 pounds next week, then the scale should say 162, which means I'm really like 167. And that would be just in time for a gig I have next Wednesday, a private event. So that should get me right back to what I've weighed since I was a teenager. That got all out of whack during the pandemic. So there you go. There's the update. And what else do we have? Questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, things you want to talk about? I love headlines on Yahoo about people who are supposed to be celebrities and I never know who they are. And it seems every week there's an article about how Elizabeth Hurley's 56 and looks great in a bikini or a revealing dress or something. It happens every week. Well, my Busby's gig, Lizzie, is my oldest running steady gig. I've worked for the guys that own that place for nearly 20 years. They own several restaurants and bars. I used to perform every Sunday at their English pub and restaurant, Ye Old King's Head. But they also own Busby's East and West. I've been at Busby's West for a million years. I could have actually gone back a couple of months ago, probably. But what happened was I had my trip to Florida. Then he said, yeah, come on back and work. I saw that they had karaoke back. I'm like, hey, you got karaoke? How about magic? He's like, yeah, come back. And then I had, I ended up with that allergic reaction and ended up in the ER and blah, blah, blah. So little by little, my whole life's coming back to normal. So I'll have a steady gig every Friday. I got the paid gig Wednesday. I got a few other gigs that I have, contracts out on. People just need to sign and pay. And there you go. I'm hoping that THC Design goes back to doing their thing. And blah, blah, blah. I've been working on... Hold on a second. I'm going to grab it. This would be better if one of you had a deck of cards and joined me on Zoom. But I'm going to see if I can pull this off. Now, I'll tell you what. I know. I'll type them in. I'm going to mix up these cards. I'm not fast at this yet. This has got to be done quickly. And I'm brand new at this. So I'm not going to be able to do it quickly. But what I can do, and this is for real, this is one of the memory tricks I'm working on. I want to be able to do it fast so that I could do it in a performance. But basically, the trick is this. I can memorize the whole deck of cards, And to prove it, what I'll do is I'm going to remove. You're just going to have to trust me that I'm not looking at these. I mean, I'll shuffle them for you here. I mean, I don't know what. Just give them a mix here. All right, so they're mixed as fuck. What I would do is I could give you the deck. You could mix them and stuff. And then I'd have you remove, let's say, let's do 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm removing 5 cards and I'm not looking at them. I don't know, official, Juan, nobody is showing up today. It'd be kind of cool if I had someone on Zoom to do this. But I'm not good enough at it yet anyway. I shouldn't even really be doing it now. But the idea is that I removed 5 cards and I can go through the deck here, memorize it, and tell you which cards are missing. So like Jack of Clubs and 4 of Spades. So normally you would hold these up for me and just one by one. And we're going to see if I could do it, all right? Hold on a second. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's that. And that's the 10 of Hearts. We've got the 2 of Spades. 8 of Diamonds. Okay. 10 of Diamonds. Ooh. Did I, how did I, oh, okay. All right, I think that's good. And 4 of Hearts, a King of Clubs. Okay. Queen of Clubs. And 10 of Clubs. Okay. Remember, I'm memorizing all of these, all of the cards I'm seeing. That's why I got to pause at each one here. Okay, I think I got that one. Okay, Jack of Hearts, 8 of Clubs, 5 of Spades. This is what I don't like is this is the part I got to be able to do faster. Like if somebody was doing this, I'd want them to deal it at a pretty steady pace so it doesn't take so long. But fuck it, I'm giving it a shot. Okay, and let's see this one. Oh, that's okay. I think we're good there. 9 of Clubs. Okay. 5 of Diamonds. Queen of Spades. Okay. King of Hearts. Okay. Jack of Diamonds. The 6 of Spades. All right. Ace of Hearts. Okay. The 8 of Spades. Okay. 9 of Hearts. That is... Okay. King of Diamonds. Man, this is what I'm saying. This has got to be faster. I'm like, this is taking forever. I can't imagine how long it seems for you. But and hopefully I don't even fuck it up. Okay, so we're good there now for sure. Okay, and 2 of Diamonds. 6 of Diamonds. I would say there's not many more, but there are. 3 of Clubs. Let's see. Okay, two of hearts. I gotta figure that one out. All right. Nine of diamonds. Nine of spades. Jack of spades. Ace of clubs. We're almost done. Ten of spades. Okay. Only a few left. King of spades. So we've got the... okay. Three of spades. Two of clubs. Queen of diamonds. And one more. Ace of diamonds. Okay. So now I've memorized all the cards that are here. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them, my memory, and I'm going to mark down here the cards I think that are missing. See if I can do this. You just got to trust me that I'm not cheating, all right? I'm just practicing on you fuckers. Let's see if I can do it. So we're going to start with the clubs. Okay. Going through the clubs. Maybe I should say this out loud, but I think the Jack of clubs is missing. I'm gonna just make a note. Put JC for Jack of clubs. I think that one's missing. I'm not positive. That's why I'm practicing. But now I'm going to go through the hearts. All right. So Ace of hearts was there. The Two of hearts was there. What the fuck is the three of hearts? There was no three of hearts. That one I know is missing. All right, so 3H, no three of hearts. Four of hearts, five of hearts. Oh, there was no five of hearts. So, no five of hearts. And, okay, let's see. There was a six of hearts. There was a seven of hearts. There was no eight of hearts. I don't think. Nine of hearts there was. 10 of hearts. Shit, was there a 10 of hearts? I think there was. There was Jack of hearts was there. The Queen of hearts was... I don't think there. All right, I'm going to stop. I may have fucked all this up, but that's 5 cards. Normally I go clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. I'm going to see how I did because I already have 5 cards that I don't think are there. I may have fucked this up. Let's see. 8 of hearts. That was one of them. I got that. Oh, and sorry, let me share the list with you here. So Jack of clubs. Fuck, the Jack of clubs was there. So I got that one wrong. The 3 of hearts, that was correct. So I got the 3 of hearts and the 8 of hearts. The 5 of hearts, boom. Not bad, right, fuckers? There's the 5 of hearts. And the Queen of hearts right there. The one I missed, the 7 of diamonds. Shit. All right. So I did 4 out of 5. That's not bad. These are the 4 I got correct, and this is the one I got wrong. The Jack of Clubs. That one threw me off. Yeah. So, if anybody ever wants to practice that with me, let me know. I'll let you zoom in. I need to have like Juan or somebody do it. See, what would be cool is if you shuffle, you remove like 5, 6 cards, let's say, and then you just boom, 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 boom. If like I need to do it like that fast. That's how fast I gotta get. If I could do it that fast, then it would be a good trick, you know? Boom, boom, boom. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's just that would be impressive. If it were Meatloaf doing this joke, he would have said 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Nice. Good one. I like it. Good one, Lizzie. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. All right. Well, thanks for playing along. I think it's proof that I really did it because I've got one of them wrong. But Lizzie, you want to, let's see, what other, I'm trying to think. I've done it before on Zoom. My friends didn't believe me, though, because this was the very beginning of the pandemic when I was working on the memory stuff. Then I stopped working on it. Now I'm back into it. It's super fun. But my friends, when people were doing like Zoom cocktail because we were all on lockdown, I told them I'm working on this thing, and I said, here, take a piece of paper, make a list. I think I had them do like 1 to 20, 1 to 25, something like that. I said, write an object next to each number and read the list off to me, and then I could tell you the list forwards or backwards. You could tell me any number, I'll tell you the object. Give me any object, I'll tell you the number. It's actually very easy to do. And so I did it. He's like, oh, you're cheating, mate. He's British. He's like, oh, you're just looking. You have somebody writing it down. Are you writing it down as I say them? Or I don't know how he thought I was cheating. I'm like, no, I could do it in front of you. I'm just practicing. And so that's the problem, right, with magic on Zoom. But there you go. Meatloaf, I had a friend named Sophia, and one time she was over at my apartment with a few other people. We're all hanging out, partying, and I had like a zillion CDs, so she started going through my CDs, and she was like, oh, you have this? This is great. Oh, man, you have all of this? This is great. Oh, look at all the Frank Zappa you have. Awesome. And then she got to Meatloaf, and she was like, you have like all of Meatloaf's albums. You've got Bat Out of Hell. You got Bat Out of Hell 2. You got whatever. I had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 Meatloaf albums. And she was horrified. She was like, I really am mad at you. She's like, why do you have this? Seriously, I think it needs to go in the garbage. Like, she was visibly angry that I had Meatloaf albums in my collection. Which is silly. I could have all kinds of albums in there for all kinds of reasons. People just give you things. People leave things behind. But in this case, they were mine. These were my Meatloaf albums. I'll claim them. Guy has a great voice. Exactly. Why do you have this? And she took them all out. And one of my other friends was over. And they were like, leave him alone. Like, Meatloaf's good. And she's like, oh. She was horrified. There were drugs involved. But she was really, it really put her out of sorts. And so I've still, today the only premise I had ready was the one I started the show with. The little game about me pretending I'm running away from a monster and have to get in the car and pull out as fast as I can. That's all I had. I didn't, I need to it's weird. Like when I've got a show coming up, I automatically start observing every part of the day to look for things to like, because like almost warms up my brain. Just like driving, walking, looking around the room and going, hey, what's up with Venetian blinds? And, it just like picking apart everything gives you ideas, I don't know. I think more than that, if I was going to say it more honestly, I just live my life. I try to have an interesting life. And then I'll make an observation and I'll go, oh, that a lot of people can probably relate to that. Let's make a note of that and try doing that on stage. It's like a habit that you develop as a comic and as a magician. Like, you go to the art supply place to look for different things that you might be able to use in a trick to come up with something original, right? And I feel like I've fallen out of that habit of just, I still do it, but I gotta remember that on a daily basis, that from the time I get up, I need to start like thinking about, hey, what am I going to talk about on this show that can send me off on a good tangent? I got lucky. I'm not going to lie. Part of the reason I practiced that memory trick was to kill some time here. Yeah, fuck it. I'm with a bunch of meat loafers. Exactly. All right. It's about that time. We're approaching the hour mark. Anything you guys want to talk about, ask me about, questions, comments, concerns, let me know, and then I'll maybe you'll send me off on a good tangent before we go, and we'll finish the show strong. I'll tell you something interesting that happened as I've been continuing with my mindfulness practice. I had an odd thing happen. This was maybe a week or so ago, where I was practicing mindfulness and I was just, being present, really. That's all it is paying attention. That's all it comes down to. If you want to know, what should I do in life? It's pretty simple. Pay attention and be a good person. If you pay attention, you'll notice that things are constantly changing. All things change. And if you're present before you do something, you can ask the question, is this something that's worth doing? If it is, let me give it my full attention. And if it's not, let's not do it. But so I was just being present, and I had this moment where I looked for what was looking. I looked for what was seeing, what's being present, And when I did, everything in front of me got flattened out and became like two-dimensional. It became like my whole world became like a flat movie screen. And I go to these meetings once a week with people from the Headless Way. And the Headless Way, it's a mindfulness group, You look out at the world and you notice that if you look for your head, you can't find it. Where you think your head is where the world is, right? And I mentioned this to them, and one of them said, oh, that's interesting because I actually read about that in some, I don't know where he read it, but it was some Buddhism thing talking about everything getting two-dimensional. So that was kind of neat that I had this experience and that it's something other people have had, and that it seems like it's a step closer to glimpsing what can be glimpsed through mindfulness. Did you ever eat pizza at Home Run Inn in Chicago? That's what I'm eating. No. Where did you... I've never heard of Home Run Inn. Are you in Chicago? Did you get it ordered from Chicago? How were you... Yeah, I don't know anything about that place. Finally got a small setup, so hopefully relatively soon I'll be able to join on Zoom. That would be awesome, Lizzie. I'd love to have you Zoom in. That'd be super cool. And yeah, I guess that's where we're at. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go eat a healthy tuna melt that I made from Rocco DeSpirito's Now Eat This book. I make, oh, you bought it at Publix? I don't know if Home Run Inn is a real thing in Chicago. I don't know. But you did remind me that the best pizza I've ever had in my life is My Pie Pizza. And you can get that delivered from Chicago. So I'm going to do that very soon. I think as soon as I get paid for my next gig, I'm going to do that. But yeah, we're at the hour mark. Thanks for watching. I'll try to be more entertaining tomorrow. The secret is not trying, but also being prepared. You know what I mean? If I had a half dozen things prepared and then I stayed present and didn't try, we'd have a great time. Fortunately, I only had one thing. But that's one more than I've had in the last 2 weeks. Oh, the other thing is today, what's today? Is today Thursday? It is, right? So I won't be seeing you tomorrow. I think sometimes I'll order Lou Malnati's and have it flown to me. Here's the thing. Lou Malnati's is great. I don't like it as much as Giordano's. But the other thing with Lou Malnati's is it's not made to order. They have a whole bunch there that are ready to go to be shipped. If you order from My Pie Pizza in Chicago, they actually make your pizza fresh when you order it and then send it to you immediately, I think on dry ice or something like that. So if you're thinking about doing that again, ordering pizza from Chicago, check out My Pie Pizza in Chicago. Anyway, I'm going to be doing the show Mondays through Thursdays. I was trying to do Monday through Fridays, but now that Fridays are always tough. I've got my gig back every Friday. That makes it even tougher. I've decided that since I've cut way back on how much money I'm spending on weed, that I'm going to use the money, or not all of it, but some of the money I've used to spend on weed to treat myself to a massage at the end of the week. I feel like I really need it after a hard week of jiu-jitsu, but also I think it's good for my stress levels, and it's a nice time to practice mindfulness. Check out My Pie next time. Lou Malnati's, hey, Goisermas, Lou Malnati's may come on dry ice, but it's not made to order. They have a stack of them frozen or whatever, and then you order it and then they ship it on dry ice. But trust me, and My Pie Pizza is the best pizza I've ever had in my life. I think Giordano's is better than Lou Malnati's. That's a ongoing Chicago debate, though. And yes, I've been getting real massages. Because, if you go get a happy ending massage, they usually don't give you a good massage. They poke you for 2 seconds, roll over, they jerk you off, and they're like, get out of here. And you're like, yeah, but I wanted an hour massage. And they're like, then you came to the wrong place. So I'm getting legitimate massages, sans happy endings. I had a guy call me up, said he met me a while back and asked if I could give him a pass to the Magic Castle. I said, no problem. He said, hey, bye. So I sent him the pass. He said, hey, I want to thank you because I'm a massage therapist. I'll come over to your place and give you a 90-minute massage. And I didn't tell him this, but I was like, oh, thank you. Maybe I'll take you up on that. But all I could think was, if you were a chick, I really do not want a massage from a dude. So if he brings it up again, that's probably what I'll tell him. Like, do you have a friend that's a girl that wants a Magic Castle, that wants to go with you to the Magic Castle and she can thank me? Hey, Juan, came in right at the end of the show. I had the Zoom up and running, expecting you to pop in. Like I told you, I don't bother anymore. It's running, it's there, and when you want to join, you join. I just told you I never heard of Home Run Inn. I've never heard of Home Run Inn Pizza. Maybe it is a thing. I haven't lived in Chicago in 21 years. So I just never heard of it. Juan, let me go to My Pie Pizza and tell me what you think when you get a chance. But, all right, guys, so plan on seeing me from now on Monday through Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific time. You never know when I could just pop on randomly, but if I do, you'll know it if you subscribe to the channel. So do that. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell, and you'll know if I go live randomly. But you can generally count on me Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Have a beautiful night, everybody. I love you all more than chocolate cake. And I will, of course, be playing you out with the good Reverend Carl, because that's the way we do it.
It's 2 a.m., 14 below, it's closed. My work is done, but I'm feeling low, and I wanna play the night away, the night away. I can't stand to be alone. I gotta bring over some people to fill up my empty home. Yes, I do, yes, I do now. I'm having a party, having a party, having a party, I'm having a party, people, and a party, people. Well, 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 put out the word to the chosen few. I got the SMC, my friends, bring your choice of brews, your choice of brews. The buzz is on and the mood is set. The candles burn as the turntables turn by the TV set. Yes, they do, yes, they do now. Having a party, having a party, having a party, I'm having a party, people, and a party, people, and everybody's getting down now. Party people, having a party, having a party, we're having a party, people, and a party, people. Well, well, the monster man is feeling smooth, while in the mirror he's busting moves till he finds his groove, till he finds his groove. A Johnny Poet is feeling numb. He's gonna drink until the sunlight comes out to play. He's always running away. Where are your shoes today now? Having a party, having a party, having a party, we having a party, people, a party, people, and everybody's getting down now. Party people, having a party, having a party, we having a party, people, and a party, people, having plenty of fun. He's been drinking them 21s like they're going out of style. A jungleberry is scabbing tails. He'll smoke all the weed you have if you let him away with it. I let him away with it. I let him away with it. Away with it. Away with it now. Having a party. Having a party. Having a party. We having a party, people. And a party, people. And everybody's getting down now. Party people. Having a party. Having a party. We having a party, people. A party, people. Well, well. Reggie Love is dressed in plain. He'd like to bop the night away, 'cause he's come a long way from that Ventura County. Girly girl by the telephone, She's been waiting on a man to call so she can share her love.